And oh my gosh, I cannot tell you, we got on the Austin City Council I probably got 10, 15 like big open records requests every single month. And I do understand your point about resources, Lexi. It's like, well, does my staff do that? Do we have an IT team do that? Like, who is responsible for responding to all of these requests? And another issue that I feel like needs to be addressed is a lot of it is basically the honor system. You're relying on the elected official who you're requesting information from to turn over the documents that might get them into trouble. And so I could see through that process that it would be really easy for somebody to say, you know what, I don't want them to see this one. I'm going to delete it real quick if it's not handled by if it's handled by the elected official. And so I'd be interested to hear your guys's feedback on that.
This is Aaron. How may I help you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to hear you. Is this Aaron?
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Andre in Horizon City.
Hey, Andre.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm calling in regards to an open records request that was released to me this today. I think it was this afternoon. Maybe it's this morning, but...
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to call and make the law firm, the Borges law firm, and the town of Horizon City aware that I think that there's a discrepancy, like or a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got this email. I'm sorry, it was yesterday that I got it. I just looked at it today, though, and it was in regards to a open records request I submitted on September 23rd, which was my 17th open records request I filed this year.
Alrighty. And did you want to leave a message with me, or did you want to talk to Nicole? Because I think Nicole is the one that submitted it to you, correct?
Yeah, no, if she's available, that's even better.
Okay, let me go ahead and put you on a quick hold and see if she's available.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep, you're very welcome. Hey, Andre, sorry. Yes, she's actually not available today. I just realized she's out of the office.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's Friday. I'm sure she's probably off by now, or it's not like a 5-alarm fire. If I could just maybe leave a message with you,
yeah,
that'll be good enough for me.
Okay.
So yeah, I appreciate you letting me leave a message with you. My message is just going to be that I did receive the records that were released yesterday.
Okay.
By Nicole on behalf of the town government and Borges law firm, and it was for my September 23rd open records request, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But my issue is that various portions of the records that were released were redacted, and the law firm is citing 2 statutes, one of which is Texas Government Code 552.107, and then the other, I guess, is a rule for court procedures, which is Texas Rule of Evidence 503. And on each page of the documents, where there's portions of the documents that are redacted, the law firm keeps citing that statute and then that legal rule of evidence. And the issue that I have is that the documents in question are supposed to be open to the public, because these documents are documents regarding a meeting of the town government. including the mayor himself, where there was deliberations. The mayor and the city attorney and the police chief and a few other people were deliberating about the people's business regarding, in this particular case, the upcoming collective bargaining union meeting between the police union and the town government. So this was a meeting that happened earlier this year in January. Mm-hmm. I guess they did it over the internet. And so, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I do know how to read. And so from what I've read, a meeting like this conducted over the internet or telephone, that's subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act. And since it is subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act, that's why I'm calling today and leaving this message with you, is that all these redactions that the law firm has put down and is claiming are, because basically, from what I understand, like the Texas Rule of Evidence 503, that deals with attorney-client privilege. Now, obviously, since I'm not a lawyer, I can't get too in the weeds about that, but I do know that since this that these documents are part of a meeting that was conducted and it's supposed to be part of the Open Meetings Act, that the town government and the law firm should not be able to redact portions of these documents based on attorney-client privilege, because the meeting is supposed to be open to the public. So how can it be open to the public and then have portions that are redacted for the public not to see? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Alrighty. So I have written down your question is to Nicole and then to the law firm that the open record request that you received yesterday. The documents that were released, there were portions that were redacted, and some of those were citing attorney-client privilege. But since the meeting was open to the public, that redaction should not apply. Is that pretty much the gist of your question?
And you got it about 90% right. The only problem is that when you said the words that the meeting was open to the public, that's actually another issue. Is that what I'm saying is that meeting was supposed to be open to the public, and that gets me to my next issue, which I hope you can write down as well, is that the documents that were released to me, I did not receive documents that I expected, such as the agenda for the meeting, minutes of the meeting, any documents that documented a video recording or audio recording of the meeting, which that's supposed to be kept by law whenever you do a meeting by telephone or over the internet. So since this meeting was subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act, there should have been a properly prepared agenda, and it should have been posted for the public to see prior to the meeting. All the procedures of the Texas Open Meetings Act should have applied to this meeting. And the documents that I released, I did not receive the agenda, and I didn't receive any minutes. So I'm starting to automatically become suspicious and believe that no agenda was prepared, no minutes were prepared. And one of the reasons I'm very suspicious that happened, where no agenda was prepared, no minutes were prepared, is because there's another meeting that happened on February 28th, which I had been looking into throughout the year, where that same situation happened on February 28th. That no agenda was prepared at all, and the members of the town government, including the town clerks, just openly admitted that they never prepared it, and that's just how they do things. And it was a very flippant attitude. So that's another thing I'd like to leave you with, is that or if you could somehow get that into your written message, is that this telephone meeting that was conducted, I don't know if it was by Skype or by telephone, but it was a meeting that was conducted, using technology. I guess everybody wasn't in the same room. They were doing it either over the internet or phone. And that meeting, which was on January 29th, 2024, that meeting was supposed to be subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act, and there was supposed to be an agenda and minutes and any other documents that are required by the Texas Open Meetings Act. I did not receive those documents that I expected in this records release. So I'm not even quite sure if this open records request is even completed, in my opinion, because if those documents do exist, such as an agenda and minutes, then I'd like them to be released to me immediately, because those are part of my open records request.
Okay. Okay, I will go ahead and get that all written up, and I will go ahead and state that meeting on January 29th, you're still looking for the minutes, the agenda, and that the request is not fulfilled, because you were asking for those, correct?
Well, just so that I don't create confusion, we've had previous phone calls earlier this year where I asked for very similar documents. I asked for the agenda and minutes of another meeting that happened on February 28th. Now I'm talking about a completely separate meeting. This one's on January 29th, 2024. Yeah. And this meeting was done with technology. This was using either telephone or internet to have people meet virtually rather than everybody in the same room. So once you do that, the Texas Open Meetings Act, I don't know it word for word, but I know that the Texas Open Meetings Act creates other requirements once you do it that way, where you have to make an audio recording, or like if it's done by Skype, it has to, record the video. So what I'm saying is that when I did my open records request on September 23rd for written records of this meeting, one of the most basic fundamental documents I should have received was the agenda. If I don't get anything else, I should at least get that first thing. Every meeting has to have an agenda. And so that's one document. If I don't get anything else, before we even talk about anything else, that's one of the very first things that I'm after is, where is the agenda for the meeting that happened on January 29th, 2024? Because this meeting was subject to the Texas Open Meetings Act. Okay.
Alrighty, I will go ahead and get that over to them. Since Nicole is out and is close to our 5, you probably won't hear back today, but you will hear back next week.
Okay, and like I said, it's not 5 on fire, and I know that it's Friday afternoon, and everybody's, a lot of people are probably gone from the office, and you guys are about to close, and so yeah, whenever they get around to responding to this message, once again, I'm not a telephone guy generally, so if they could just respond by email. I like to correspond by email. If they can respond to this message that I'm leaving with you today by email, that's what I prefer.
Awesome. Okay, I will go ahead and get that message over to them and have them respond to you via email.
All right, and yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything else. I don't know what you wrote down there, and I'm not going to keep you on the phone all day. I know I've already kept you on the phone over 12 minutes now, but would it be possible that you read back what you wrote just so I have an idea?
Yeah, so basically just from that January 29, 2024 meeting, it was subject to the Texas Open Meeting Act, and then you want to receive at minimum the agenda plus minutes, and that the initial documents shouldn't have been redacted because of it being an open meeting, correct? That was just kind of like a quick summary, but I had a lot more.
Yeah, quick summary, and just to clarify, when you did say the word agenda, you didn't combine the words minutes and agenda, right?
No, two separate things.
Yeah, I want to make that distinction, is that the agenda is one legal document. The minutes are what is created after the meeting to document the meeting. Yeah. And yeah, so that's my message, and I guess I'll just wait for the town government and the Borges law firm to respond to that message. And also, the one last thing I wanted to say is that I'm going to prepare an email to formally respond in writing, because I did receive a document from Nicole and Desiree where, apparently I can dispute the redactions that they've made, which will then involve the Texas Attorney General and all that. So I am going to respond in writing as well.
Okay.
And then whatever procedures that the Texas Attorney General would be involved, I guess that would trigger whatever laws are involved there. But I just want to leave you with that as well before I hang up, is that I'm going to be following up this phone call with a written response as well.
Absolutely, sir. And anything else I can help you with, Andre?
No. Thank you for all your patience as usual, and thank you for everything you do, and for taking my call and patiently writing everything down. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, or rest of your day, and have a great weekend.
All right, Aaron. Have a good day.
You too.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Hello.
How's everything?
I have some concerns.
What's up, buddy? You want to talk now, or you want to wait till after?
No, I think you've got probably some things you need to do, so.
Actually, they're going to have to. They had asked if we can kind of postpone the meeting just a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay.
They're waiting on some folks, so I don't know if it's something you want to bring up. You want to talk about now, or you want to set up an appointment, or?
Well, no, it doesn't have to be all formal like that.
Okay.
Just, I feel at the very least I'd like to mention, again, which I don't know if I mentioned it directly to you before, but I've mentioned it to your clerk. And I also put it in writing in more than one email. At least I did one today, but also at least one in the past.
Yes, sir.
And the first issue that I have is that on February 28th, 2024, the notice for that meeting was not done properly.
The notice for the initial
Deliberation meeting between
for the negotiation for CBA.
Right, for the police union and the town government.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one big issue right there. If we don't talk about anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and I'll talk to legal to make sure that everything was done correctly. From what my understanding, everything was done properly and per the law, per state law. So, so I'll review that with them just to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And I want to make sure that everything here in Horizon is done the way it's supposed to be.
Yes, sir. And going hand in hand with that issue that I just brought up is that a few days later, the city clerk, and she actually personally handed me a copy, and I forget exactly what day it was. The city clerk then created another document because the original notice was posted by Lieutenant Casey Valdez on February 15th.
Okay.
And
do you mind if I write all this down just that way?
Sure.
So initial notice was on February 15th, correct?
Yeah, Lieutenant Casey Valdez did it, and she apparently has always been doing the notices for all the past union meetings. When I say all, I mean the past couple, because I guess the union only was created in like 2017.
Yes, sir.
But, so yeah, it was February 15th, Lieutenant Valdez posted a notice, and, you know, I was no expert then, and I was definitely no expert then, but I've learned a little bit more now. But even as not being an expert in the Texas Open Meetings Act, I could tell that notice was definitely not in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. It was very vague, and it had no agenda. I called Adam Bastillos and Elvia Schuler, the records clerk and the town clerk, and both of them openly admitted they never even created an agenda. She said she took no minutes, and initially she wasn't even aware that the union deliberation meetings between the town government and the police union, that the Texas Open Meetings Act even applied at all. So that later got cleared up on March 18th by the city attorney. But initially, the town clerk, as far as she was concerned, the Texas Open Meetings Act didn't even apply.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go over this and make sure that everything's documented correctly and make sure that everything was done correctly. If there were any issues, we are now at the end of April, going into May, and I'm sure that they would have, notified me saying, hey, you know what, there was a mistake, but nobody has notified me yet of that. So But I'll go ahead and review that with them just to make sure. So,
Yes, sir.
cool.
How's that going to help you?
I'm sorry, you said Melissa?
Melinda.
Oh, Belinda?
Melinda, yes, with the M.
Oh, Melinda, okay. Yes, my name is Andre, and I live in Horizon City, Texas. I'm a resident here, and I had a question about a particular legal expense that was charged on January 30th to the town government of Horizon City.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry,
So you have
quick correction. Slight correction. It's January 29th, 2024, not the 30th. It was the 29th.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Legarin, this is regarding a request that the firm has worked on. Is that correct?
Yes, this is a previous request, which was ultimately released to me in early June of this year, and then on that document, which was a couple pages long, which is what was released to me, within that document revealed a charge on January 29th, 2024 for legal expenses.
Okay.
And the amount of the legal expense, the bottom line total was $116.50, and it was billed by, I'm sorry?
I'm taking notes. I'm just saying yes, okay.
Okay, yeah, and so it was billed by the city attorney, Sylvia B. First. It was for, a half hour of legal expenses. Her rate is $233 an hour, so the bottom line total was $116.50 for that January 29th legal expense.
Okay, January 29th. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm going to have to get some more information from you. And what is your question about it? And also, what's your phone number?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to reach me by phone, but I'll give you my number anyway. It's 915-781 4330. The town government and Sylvia First, the city attorney, we've exchanged numerous emails over the past year. I've exchanged numerous emails with the town government in general for several years, but Sylvia First herself actually sent me an email earlier this year, so I'm sure she has my email. And the reason I say that is because I prefer to correspond by email. It's much easier for me.
Okay.
So one of my questions, because you did ask what is my question, one of my primary questions is if the Borges law firm and the town government are willing to answer this question, because the town government and the law firm, they don't legally have to answer questions. But my question is, was this charge of $116.50, was this for the Borges law firm and the town government conducting a telephone conference, like a meeting that was conducted by a telephone between, several individuals?
Okay, so let me, because I'm taking notes here. So, was this for basically the firm and the town?
Yes, I'm trying to determine what exactly this charge is for. It appears, because if you read the letters, which I have right here in front of me, it says all capitals TCW, which I assume that means telephone conference. So it says TCW, Mayor and Chief, HR and Elvia. Now Elvia is the town clerk, and then it says regarding collective bargaining processes, etc. So TCW, Mayor and Chief, HR and Elvia regarding collective bargaining processes. And that's it. That's all it says. It's one quick sentence, which is fine because it's just a log entry. But I'm trying to determine if that means that there was a telephone conference held that day on January 29th, 2024, if that's what this expense is for.
Okay, so I'm going to try to paraphrase this now that I understand, because I don't have the you know, the invoice. You're looking at the invoice, and it would take me a while to get there. So,
Right.
So your question is this $116.50 charge from January 29th, the entries from January 29th, 2024, and it's described as TCW Mayor and Chief, and then you said Mayor and Elvia regarding collective bargaining. Is that correct?
I'll read it to you word for word. You almost got it, but not quite 100% right. So I'll read it to you word for word. That way you could take it down word for word. It's
sure.
January 29th, 2024 entry of some sort of legal expense document, because what was released to me, vast portions of it were redacted with big, huge blocks of blackness. But the portion that was released to me, one entry does say January 29th, 2024, and then all capitals, TCW, so that's like one acronym, and then the rest of the sentence is Mayor and Chief. So TCW, Mayor and Chief, comma.
Okay.
And then after the comma, it has capital H, capital R, which I assume is Human Resources. And then after HR, it's and Elvia.
Okay.
And then the rest of the sentence is regarding collective bargaining processes, etc., etc.
Okay. So TCW Mayor and Chief, comma, HR and Elvia regarding collective bargaining processes, etc.
Yeah,
Okay.
HR and Elvia regarding collective bargaining processes, etc.
Okay.
And if you want to get super technical, collective bargaining, at the first letter of each of those words, it says capital C and capital B for collective bargaining. I don't know if that matters, but.
Okay. And so your question is, was this for a teleconference between the firm and the town?
Yes. That summarizes it. Yes. I assume that this was a charge for some sort of telephone conference, because I assume that the word T in this acronym TCW must stand for telephone conference, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's for something else. So that is my question.
Yeah, I don't know either. So I've never seen
Right.
that. So was this for a teleconference between the firm and town? Okay, so that's your first question on that entry.
Well, and just to keep things simple, because I don't like muddying the waters if I don't have to, that's going to be my only question for today. I'm going to have other questions in the future about either this charge or other expenses or just other issues, but for today, especially since I know you guys are about to go home, that's what my phone call is about today, and that's my question for today.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information. I know that Nicole and Desiree usually work on these requests to do backup. I've done them before. I know I've worked with you before on prior requests, and I will send them. And also Sylvia, I'm assuming, worked on this as well. But I will let her know that you had a follow-up question regarding, and you said this was from early June. Is that when you put in your request, or is that when you received the documents?
No. In fact, I got the email right here in front of me, and it's from Nicole. And so the exact time that she sent this email was May 2nd, 2024 at 11:35 a.m. I think that's 11:35 a.m. my time. Anyway, May 2nd, 2024, Nicole Hip Follower released, working on behalf of the law firm and the town government. She released this document to me, which was, releasable documents of legal expenses that was charged to the town government based on the specific request that I made. And the date that I made that request, I'm looking at that right here, I made that request on April 17th, 2024.
Okay, that helps. Okay. So this is your April 17th, 2024 request. The documents were released on May 2nd. Okay, that'll help me track down. And I will get them this information because I do not know what what that stands for.
Right, that acronym, all capital TCW, like that's what the phone call's about. And like you said, you don't know what that acronym means. I don't know what that acronym.
You're saying P like Paul or T like Tom?
Yeah, Tom, Charlie, Walter. So
that's what
I assume that
means.
yeah.
Okay. I'll get this information to Nicole, and someone will have to get back with you. And I know that you prefer email, so she can respond to you.
Yes, ma'am, and I appreciate you being patient and basically taking like a shorthand note of everything that I've said. But one other thing that I'd like to add to this, if you could write this down as well, is that, and of course the lawyers already know this, but I'm letting everybody know, whoever deals with this situation right up front, that I'm well aware that the question I'm submitting today verbally by phone and what I'm asking for, that this does not trigger the Texas Public Information Act. This is not an open records request. It's not a legal open records request. This is literally just me as a town resident verbally making or verbally asking a question to the town government and the town government's law firm about this information, which I obtained via a previous open records request. But now that I have that open records request, I'm simply just asking a question, which legally doesn't have to be answered, but I'm asking it.
Right. So you understand, right? Legally doesn't have to be answered. Okay. And so you understand that it doesn't legally have to be answered, and it's not a new public information request either, because you understand that it has to be put in writing.
Yes, for the average layperson on the street, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But both you and I are well aware that you either trigger the law or you don't trigger the law. So with this phone call and the question I'm asking, I have not triggered the law. I have not triggered the Texas Public Information Act. This is not an open records request. It's just a question.
Okay. All right.
And I guess that's the last sentence, and I know you got to go home, but if you could just write that I'm asking this question, in the name of government transparency. So I hope the town government and the law firm can answer it. So sure. That's what I hope that they can do, is they can answer it based in the name of government transparency.
Okay. All right. We'll get this information.
All right. And I'm sorry, how do I pronounce your name again? It's been a long day.
Melinda.
Melinda, yes. So thank you for everything, Melinda. Thank you for working till the last minute. And I'll be in touch, and I'll just wait for somebody to email me back.
Okay. All right. I'll let them know.
Have a great afternoon.
Okay. You too. Thank you.